Hello and welcome to Born to Win. My name is Barbara Allen and today we're going to be talking about mental health. What are the signs to look for when you're having mental health challenges? My guest today is Anthony Lewis. He'll be talking to us about his own personal struggle with mental and emotional challenges. Please welcome to the show, Anthony.
Good one.
Now, Anthony, just take us through your journey, relationships. I know you've been married to your wife for 15 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you've got 3 wonderful boys.
That's right.
Just tell us a little bit about your boys and what they're doing at the moment.
My boys are Joshua, who's 19. He's going to go into university in October. We've got Kyle, who's 11, who's just started boarding school. And we've got Alexander, who's at school, who's 5.
Wow, so 3 strapping young men.
That's correct.
Going out there into the world.
Yeah.
One in boarding school and
correct.
Another
going off to university.
University. Wow, what an achievement in itself.
Thank
you
you.
should be really proud of yourself.
I am. Oh, I should say we are.
Yeah, of course. Now, so you've been married for how long?
15 years, but we're now separated.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been married for 15 years, but you are now separated. Now, there was a situation where the whole thing about your breakdown, what happened and what happened?
Well, within the relationship, because I felt, now reflecting on my life and the way how I went about things, I was, you could say, not fulfilling my own dreams and not reaching the goals, and I felt like I wasn't achieving nothing. And that's because of a situation what happened to me when I was about 19. So when I met my partner, or my ex-partner, when it came to us going in a certain direction, I was off on a different direction. And you could say I was a bit selfish on the decisions I made. So when things came to toll, it broke down the relationship.
Right. So, your wife, ex-partner, ex-wife now, you came together and you decided you're the one for me. You both decided you want to marry each other.
Yeah, well, I proposed to her, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
I proposed to her.
So you entered into a relationship.
Yeah.
Now, I think we discussed earlier that in the relationship you was a stay-at-home father.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, in 2010 I became a stay-at-home father because Vanessa started up a new business.
Okay, so your wife is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Business person, yeah. So you became a stay-at-home father. How many years did you do that for?
Well, that was for about 5 years, I would say.
And you talked about going off on your own path. Did you get a bit frustrated about being a stay-at-home father?
Yes, I did. I did become a bit frustrated because I felt it was lonely. And because it was a scenario where she was out earning, I was at home looking after kids, which I totally enjoyed, and I thoroughly enjoyed. However, there was the financial implication where I felt like I wasn't man. Right.
So you felt less of a man because your wife was out there earning all the money, you know, coming up with all the ideas, meeting people.
I wouldn't say coming up with all the ideas. We both came up with ideas. However, her vision of how to go about it was different to mine.
Right. Okay.
So,
I think
so. With that, we then started to have differences.
Right. So there became a drift in the relationship.
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this drift in the relationship, what did that lead to you to? Were there arguments? Were there what?
There was arguments. I became more proactive on my social media platforms. I became very interactive on on social media platforms. So my main focus became others rather than focusing on myself and fulfilling the role as a father within the household. Basically saying that any spare time, I'll be on my phone.
So was there as a stay-at-home father, was there a bit of resentment at all around it?
I wouldn't say, well, yes, there was. If I'm honest to myself, there was a bit of resentment because as a man, you're raised to be the financial breadwinner. However, in my situation, I wasn't the man no more.
Absolutely. So okay. So because that's a really, you know, it's as you said, women are nurturers.
Yes,
that's what we mainly do is nurture. Nurture our children and nurture others. So the role was reversed now.
Yes.
So it kind of emasculated you.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you went on social media.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was more proactive in my phone. So a lot of the time my attention was on my phone. So I was being various different groups and talking to different people. As in a way of communicating. Because
Absolutely.
being a stay-at-home dad, when you're at home all the time with the children, you don't get that adult conversation.
And I suppose the other side of it, you're not fulfilling you.
Yeah, that's right.
Not fulfilling your masculinity.
That's definitely correct.
So in terms of being on social media, stay-at-home father, because I know you were keeping up with the, you know, you help with your boys with their homework
Yes,
and things like that.
Definitely.
And always there for them, going to school.
Yeah, doing the school run. I became the only dad on the school run. So when they came in, it was like, oh, the mums are going out for a coffee. And they would say, oh, you coming, Anthony? Because I was the only man, the only father on the school run.
So that was definitely a lonely place, as you said.
It was a lonely place, but it was also interesting. It was also interesting to see things from a different perspective.
What, with the affair, obviously your wife wasn't happy.
Definitely not.
Wasn't happy. Where did that lead to? Did that lead to...
That led to us separating and the whole relationship breaking down. Because I felt there was within that moment, that brief moment in 2010, I felt that the other person was trying to fulfill my dream of being the man. I would do this for you, I would do that for you. Making you feel like, oh, the grass is greener.
And the grass was not greener.
Of course it was never. It was just somebody with a spray can spraying it and making it appear that it's greener. Because it wasn't. Because once I was in that situation, I realised that this is not where I wanted to be. But by then, my mindset changed. I became more selfish. I was like, I want this for me. And coming back home, again, that was hard because I was a different person.
Right.
I wanted to speak up. I wanted to have a voice. I wanted to get my point across and speak my mind, without realizing that there's a time and place to say certain things.
Right. When you say time and place within a relationship.
Yeah, within a relationship.
Yeah.
There's no. Sometimes you've got to think about what you're going to say and think, is it worth it? What's the reaction? Rather than saying it. And with that, we obviously was always arguing.
So are you saying because you had an affair that made you a bit more
confident?
Confident.
That's the one. It definitely made me more confident. It made me more confident in the think like, yes, I am a man. I can do whatever I want to do because this person said so. But really and truly, I have to look within myself. What was really the problem?
It sounds as though you've done a lot of reflecting and a lot of self-help work because you're able to reflect on actually what happened, why it happened, and why you think the way you think.
Yeah, definitely.
Anthony, thank you so much for that. We're going to go for a break now, and when we come back, we're going to talk about depression, the whole thing around depression, how you dealt with it, how you got help, and who was your support. Viewers, get yourself a drink, come straight back because this is going to be very informative and very educational. Hello viewers and welcome back to Born to Win. Our topic today is mental health and Anthony Lewis is still with us and he's going to be talking about a stage in his life where he became depressed. So Anthony, I know it became very stressful
Yes.
in the relationship.
Definitely.
Because there was lots of arguments going
that's
on,
correct.
and you know, lots of things were said that shouldn't have been said, and
Yeah.
you know, it became really, really stressful.
Definitely.
So, within in terms of the arguments and you know, people saying the wrong things, and how did that lead to depression?
It led to my depression. It was basically because I became frustrated at myself because I was unable to process information and I couldn't understand why I was behaving the way I was behaving based upon my moral standards, and I became frustrated. And obviously with Vanessa, it was more a frustrating thing because I couldn't understand why she couldn't understand why I was doing the things what I was doing, in the sense of trying to make us work. But for me, it became very hard because I just didn't know how to think like a woman.
I hear that.
So for me, that was the depressing part because I'm trying my best to put things right. However, it wasn't making sense.
So in a sense, you've got your wife saying, why did you do this? Why did you do that? That's not fair. It's not nice for you to do what you did.
Yeah.
And as far as you're concerned, well, I didn't have no choice. That's something that I was kind of pushed into.
That's correct.
And I didn't think
right.
it through.
That's
but
right.
it just happened.
Yes.
Can't you understand me? Why don't you understand me?
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing?
It was very, very along those lines of why is it? Why you just didn't? I didn't feel appreciated. You didn't make me feel wanted. You didn't make me feel. Yeah, there's lots of different things that used to float around in my head and made me feel very uncomfortable. And with that, I then started to go back into my shell.
So in a sense, your wife's not understanding you, and she's not understanding your feelings, and you're not understanding her feelings.
Yeah,
so you're
that's right.
both really, one's talking in French and one's talking in German.
That's exactly how it was.
Yeah. So the communication now has totally broken down.
The communication was broken down. So the person what I looked upon as my best friend is no longer my best friend or my partner. We're at war. We're at
Constant war.
Constant war. Day in, day out. And it becomes frustrating. Yeah.
Do you think, you know, I'm going to give you this scenario. If that was your wife and she did what you did, do you think you could get to a place of forgiveness?
In time, yes, you can. But it's one where you have to reflect on yourself. Because there's a reason why they do what they do. And that's the paramount thing of it all. It's to understand the reason why they did what they did. So as a person, regardless if it's man or woman, you have to do some self-reflection. You've got to look at yourself. You've got to look at things what you're not doing, why somebody else was able to do it. And then you have the answer. So as much as it's a bitter pill to swallow, you've got to accept it. And I think a lot of men don't accept when their partners sleep with another person, or not necessarily seek attention. And that's what a lot of the time is. It's not necessarily a sexual interaction. It's the attention. Because think about it. If a mum, a wife, partner is at home with the children day in, day out, the husband, the partner comes home and all he does is sit on the sofa and falls asleep, it's boring. It becomes boring. So the moment she goes out for a coffee with her girlfriends on a coffee morning and somebody says, hi, she starts to spring up because somebody's showing her interest.
So I think in actually what you're saying, in terms of relationships, viewers, it's about appreciating each other, saying nice things to each other, taking that time out with each other.
Yeah, and I think most importantly, it is making that time. Because everybody tries to fulfill so much within in one day or in a timeline. But what they forget to do is to create that quality time with each other. Yes, we do have children. Yes, life goes on. However, before the children, it was you and her.
Absolutely, it was you and your wife. And do you think it's important to have, like, you know, maybe somebody come babysit the children and have date nights.
Of course.
Go back to date nights.
Most definitely. And I think a lot of the time, like now in this modern society with the way how things are with social media and everything else, we need to recreate the date nights. We need to recreate our time alone. We need to rely on our family members to, can you have the children? Can you watch the children? Because we need to go out.
Yeah, in order to make things work. In terms of depression, Anthony, you went to the doctors. What was the signs that made you go to the doctors?
Because I couldn't make sense of nothing.
When you say you couldn't make, what was going on for you in your head?
I couldn't process the simplest things of feelings of why I can't do the things what I could do normally. And when I say normally, it's like a simple conversation, fulfill a simple conversation without it turning into an argument. So, for example, why did you put that there? I've told you already that I don't like it like that. And silly things like that. I started to come out of character.
Right. So you actually felt yourself coming out of character completely, not having any control?
Well, there was some form of control, but it was definitely, I knew it wasn't my character. I knew it wasn't, I was reverting back to when I was younger.
Right.
So I was a single person with no responsibility. So I've gone back to that, which then I've done some self-reflecting, and I understand that why I was behaving the way I behaved.
So, okay, so you went to the doctors.
Yes.
What took place there? Did they give you medication? What happened?
So the first sign was going to the doctors, being stressed, and with that, they then said, "Okay, see how you go and come back." So obviously, I'm unable to fulfill what I feel like I should be fulfilling within myself. So I became very low in myself, low in mood. So I started to go into my shell, and they were, like they say, the man cave. So I went into my man cave and curled up in a corner within myself. Wasn't speaking to nobody, but portraying like everything was fine. But deep down, I knew everything was broken. I just couldn't fulfill what I wanted to feel within a relationship, within the marriage.
So in terms of going to when you went to the doctors, they gave you medication.
Yes.
Did you take it?
No, I didn't.
What medication was it? Was it antidepressant?
Yeah, it's definitely an antidepressant, but it's one where I said to myself, I'm not going to take it.
What about counselling? Did they offer you counselling?
Yeah, they offered me counselling. It's something I went to. I think I waited about a few weeks, maybe a month or so for counselling, which I do believe is quite quick. However, I went to the first session. I was very cautious about it, to say the least, because I've walked into this building and the person sat in front of me wasn't somebody what I can reflect with.
Male, female?
Female.
A female. So somebody you couldn't relate to, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she was from a different race. I couldn't connect. And everything she was telling me felt like it was out of a textbook.
How many sessions did you attend?
Initially it was meant to be 6, but I only attended 4.
4 sessions out of 6.
4 hours.
Okay. What did you get? You must have got something from it. Did you not get anything from it?
I did that.
Oh.
There should be a better option for men of my position.
Right, okay.
Because while I was going through the counselling session, the counselling part of the understanding, I was already in a position where I started to understand myself a lot better.
Right, okay.
And I was coming to terms with acceptance.
Right. So, in a sense, going to this female European counsellor, it must have jolted something in order for you to understand yourself a bit. What do you think would have been better for you? Somebody of your ethnicity?
Yeah, of course. Somebody what I can relate to.
Yeah.
Whether it's a male or a female, but somebody what can understand my culture.
Your culture.
And then understand a man's behaviour. And this is something what I find is like, as a female counsellor, they're not men. They read about what men do, but they're not men. So for me, sometimes, my personal experience is I felt that there was no connection and they couldn't relate with me.
So culture is a big thing, whether it's a female or a male, because I think you mentioned to me earlier about, you know, a woman of your colour would be a bit more accepting.
Yeah, because she looks like a nurturing figure, like a mothering figure, somebody you talk to and confide in.
We're just going to quickly move to joint enterprise, joint thinking, rather. Joint thinking. I'm thinking big. Enterprise. So joint thinking. I know you've birthed an organisation called Joint Thinking.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because the help you really wanted, you didn't get.
That's definitely.
And I know you've kind of associated yourself with Maudsley Hospital, Maudsley Mental Health. Yeah. Talk about that for us. What's going on?
So in regards to joint thinking, after my sessions with the counsellor, I felt like I needed to do something for us black men. So I sat down and I spoke with my ex-partner about it. And I felt like there needs to be something for men. There needs to be something for black men to speak to, because we just don't speak. So with that, fast forwarding 3 years, 4 years, my business partner, he attempted suicide. He was part of the Maudsley institution. He was a service user, and he now is one of their advisors where he goes to their meetings to as a post service user. He goes there and advises them what it's like he basically tells them about his experience while he was using the services. So he invited me along.
Because I know what you are doing at the moment with joint thinking is actually going into barber shops in order to get men to talk about their challenges. You're getting men to, not be frightened of going to a counsellor, and you're actually going out to the community.
And that's the aim of joint thinking, is to get out to the community, get out to those environments where men gather, where they talk about their boasts and their conquers, because behind the boast and the conquer there's always a downside to it. But within that environment, have a conversation, an open conversation, light-hearted conversation.
Absolutely.
To talk about those.
Absolutely. So Anthony, I know you're going out, you're doing a lot of outreach work. Where are the places that you're actually going to engage with men?
So my aim is to go to the local places like the barbershops, the gyms, to get my vision and my passion out. Allow men to know that there's other options, rather than going into their shell, going into the man cave and not talking. Because when you're not talking, you become frustrated, and then frustration becomes into anger. Then it then evolves into something else. So my aim of joint thinking is to allow men to talk about their emotions and accept their emotions, because we're all human beings. So allow them an opportunity to talk to somebody who understands where they're going, understands what it's like, and somebody they can relate to.
So it's very important who they actually speak to. They can't speak to somebody that's going through the same thing as them.
Yeah, that's right.
It needs to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And how important is a counsellor?
A counsellor is very important, whether it's a counsellor or somebody you can confide in. Because the word counsellor in itself, some people, it's got a stigma to it, and nobody actually really wants to admit going to a counsellor. Right. They don't want to admit that. But if you speak to a friend, because that's what they are, they become your friend, because they help you through a journey.
So even a mentor.
Yeah, a mentor or a life coach.
Life coach. Yeah. Mentor. Yeah. But somebody else that is respected. Yeah. Somebody that understands
and
you.
Somebody who is not going to judge you.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, because I find that within our society as black men, we look upon each other as, we judge each other because of what we have.
So you don't want to be judged.
No,
obviously
not. The purpose of joint thinking is we're definitely not judgmental.
In terms of impact, what's the impact joint thinking has had?
The impact is very good, very successful. I've known friends who's been referred to me through friends, and we've spoken, we discussed about their problems, because I don't like classing them as issues, so we call them problems because we can solve problems. Yeah. So we have a problem, we see the problem at hand, and we come to a solution. So the impact so far has been very good and successful.
So you're actually a mentor for a lot of people then, aren't you?
Definitely.
You've been there yourself.
Yes.
And you're actually able to talk to people about what they're going through and even advise them.
Yeah, and because I've been there myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been there myself, so I understand the pain, I understand the frustration, I understand the guilt, I understand the whole setup and the whole breakdown of the family network.
I hear that. So for viewers, for males, you know, women, that's what we do constantly. We talk. We'll be on the phone with our friends for 4 hours, just talking about a situation. Males, you don't need to sit there on your own trying to work things out. It's absolutely impossible. Talk to your pastor, talk to mentors, talk to a life coach, you know, talk to a counsellor if need be. You know, make sure that you do get the right one that you're able to relate to, because there are benefits in talking. Don't wait until things explode and until things get so bad, because depression is all about anger, internal anger turned inside, which then leads to depression. So, you know, man up and just talk. There's nothing wrong with talking. Thank you so much, Anthony, for coming.
You're
It's
welcome.
been so informative. I know for a fact it's not been easy for you to share, you know, your
No,
your
it hasn't
personal
been.
journey, but it's helped so many people out there.
And that's the aim for me, to be able to show people that it is hard, and once you start talking, it becomes easier.
And I'm sure we'll have you back for you to even, you know, elaborate on joint thinking.
I would love to come back.
It's something that we'd like to be a part of, and, you know, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, viewers, for watching. As usual, if you have any problems and you want to talk to someone, the number is on the screen. Please ring. We'll be happy to pick the phone and talk to you about any challenges that you're going through. My name is Barbara Allen, and thank you for watching Born to Win.